Why? Instant happiness is an illusion that leaves you empty. How dopamine hijacks your brain to keep you unsatisfied. Have you ever noticed how you always need more? More likes, more purchases, more entertainment, more anything to feel good? This isn't coincidence. Your brain has been hijacked by a chemical system that promises satisfaction but delivers only more hunger. Dopamine isn't the pleasure molecule like many believe. It's the anticipation molecule, the almost there chemical. When you're about to receive a notification, buy something new, or watch another video, dopamine fires. But the moment you get what you wanted, it crashes. It's like a carrot dangling in front of you that you can never quite reach. Neuroscientist Robert Sapolsky discovered that dopamine is released not when we receive the reward, but when we anticipate it. This means you're constantly living in the future, never in the present. Your mind is always seeking the next hit, the next dose of satisfaction that never truly arrives. Tech companies know this. They've hired the world's best neuroscientists to make their products addictive. Every infinite scroll, every push notification, every "you might also like" was designed to activate this cycle. You're not using technology, it's using you. The worst part is that the more you chase instant happiness, the less capable you become of feeling genuine satisfaction. It's as if your dopamine receptors become numb. You need increasingly intense stimuli to feel anything. A normal movie seems boring, conversation becomes dull, a moment of silence becomes unbearable. You start living in a state of constant restlessness, always expecting that the next experience, the next product, the next relationship will bring that feeling you're desperately seeking. But it never comes because you're looking in the wrong place. Instant happiness is like sugar for your mind. It gives you quick energy, but then you crash even lower than where you started. And just like with sugar, you develop tolerance. You need bigger and more frequent doses to feel the same effect. Think about the last time you felt truly satisfied. Not momentarily distracted or stimulated, but deeply at peace. I bet it wasn't while scrolling social media or buying something online. It was probably during a simple moment, maybe unexpected, when your mind wasn't racing after the next thing. The truth is, you've been conditioned to believe that happiness should be fast and easy. That if you're not feeling good right now, something's wrong, and you need to fix it immediately. But this is the big lie that keeps you trapped in the cycle. Modern society has turned you into an emotional consumer. Every uncomfortable feeling is treated as a problem that needs a solution. Every moment of boredom as something that needs to be filled. Every period of waiting as time being wasted. Practical action. For the next 3 days. Observe every time you seek instant gratification. Don't judge, just notice. When you grab your phone for no reason, when you go to the fridge out of boredom, when you open a new browser tab, just observe this automatic impulse. If you recognize this pattern in your life, leave an addiction in the comments. Hit like if this made sense to you and subscribe to discover how to break this cycle that keeps you always searching but never finding. Why your brain confuses pleasure with happiness. Your brain is deceiving you every single day. It confuses pleasure with happiness as if they were the same thing, but they're completely different processes. And this confusion is destroying your ability to feel truly fulfilled. Pleasure is chemical, temporary, and always needs to be renewed. It's that good feeling when you eat your favorite dessert, receive a compliment, or get something new. It lasts a few seconds or minutes, then disappears completely. Happiness is a state of being, a sense of contentment that doesn't depend on external stimuli. The problem is we live in a society that has sold pleasure as if it were happiness. Every advertisement, every product, every experience is sold with the promise that it will make you happy. But what they're really offering are small doses of pleasure that need to be constantly renewed. Dr. Anna Lemke from Stanford University explains that pleasure and pain work like a seesaw in your brain. When you experience intense pleasure, your brain automatically compensates by creating an equivalent amount of pain on the other side. That's why after a night of partying, you feel depressed, or after binge-watching shows, you feel bored and empty. You've developed emotional tolerance. Just like an addict needs higher doses of the drug to feel the same effect, you need increasingly intense experiences to feel anything. What excited you years ago now seems insignificant. And here's the cruel part. The more you chase pleasure, the less genuine happiness you can feel. Your nervous system stays constantly stimulated, always expecting the next hit. You lose the ability to appreciate simple things, quiet moments, subtle satisfactions. Think about how you feel after spending hours consuming content online. You watched dozens of funny videos, saw hundreds of interesting photos, read headlines that promised to shock you. In the end, how do you feel? Probably empty, a bit anxious, and with that sense that you wasted time. This happens because you're feeding the primitive part of your brain that only understands, I want more. This part doesn't care about your long-term goals, your values, or your well-being. It just wants the next dopamine hit now. Real happiness comes from completely different things. It comes from purpose, genuine connection, personal growth, contributing to something bigger than yourself. These things don't generate intense pleasure spikes, but they create a solid foundation of satisfaction that doesn't need to be constantly renewed. The paradox is that to access true happiness, you need to be willing to feel discomfort. You need to endure moments of boredom without running to distraction. You need to face your thoughts without numbing them with constant entertainment. Your modern mind has been trained to avoid any form of discomfort, but discomfort is where growth happens. It's in quietness that you find clarity. It's in simplicity that you rediscover what really matters. Practical action. Choose a period of the day, even if it's just 15 minutes, to be completely without external stimuli. No phone, no music, nothing. Just you and your thoughts. Notice the resistance that arises and observe what happens when you don't run to distraction. If you've confused pleasure with happiness, leave a confusion in the comments. Hit like if you're starting to see the difference, and subscribe to discover how to rebuild your capacity for genuine satisfaction. How instant gratification culture stole your patience. You've lost something precious, and maybe haven't even noticed: your ability to wait. Patience isn't just an old-fashioned virtue. It's a superpower that determines your quality of life, and modern culture has done everything to destroy it. Think about the last time you waited for something without getting distracted. Waited for the bus without grabbing your phone, stood in line without checking social media, or endured a few seconds of silence in conversation without feeling uncomfortable. Hard to remember, isn't it? Your tolerance for discomfort has been systematically reduced. You've been conditioned to believe that any moment of emptiness needs to be immediately filled. Silence is weird. Waiting is waste of time. Process is inefficiency. You want results now, instant changes, immediate solutions. Psychologist Walter Mischel discovered through the famous marshmallow test that children who could wait for a bigger reward became more successful, happier, and more fulfilled adults. The ability to delay gratification is one of the biggest predictors of success in life. But our society has done exactly the opposite. It created systems that reward impatience. Same-day delivery, infinite streaming, instant communication, immediate results. Everything was designed to eliminate any moment of waiting, any opportunity to develop tolerance for discomfort. And this doesn't just affect your ability to achieve goals. It profoundly affects your ability to relate to yourself and others. You can't be alone with your thoughts anymore because you've developed an aversion to emptiness. Every time a moment of quietness arises, you run to the first available distraction. Your relationships suffer too. You expect conversations to always be stimulating, moments to always be interesting, the other person to always be entertaining. When any moment of normalcy or silence arises, you interpret it as a problem and seek something more exciting. Even your personal growth has been infected by this mentality. You want changes in 21 days, transformations in 30 days, results in a few weeks. When progress is slow or imperceptible, you give up and move on to the next quick fix. The truth is that everything worthwhile in life requires time. Deep relationships take years to develop. Real skills take thousands of hours to master. Self-knowledge is a lifelong process. Genuine happiness isn't an achievement, it's a daily practice. When you recover your patience, something magical happens. You start noticing details that were always there. You appreciate nuances in conversations. You find satisfaction in processes, not just results. You develop a natural tolerance for discomfort that allows you to face real challenges. You stop living on autopilot of instant gratification and start making conscious choices. You stop reacting to every impulse and develop the ability to respond. This isn't just about self-control. It's about reclaiming your autonomy. Practical action. Choose an activity you normally do in fast mode and deliberately do it slowly. Eat a meal without rushing. Take a present shower. Walk without a specific destination. Notice the internal resistance and practice staying with it. If you feel you've lost your patience, leave a recover in the comments. Hit like if you recognize how rushing is controlling your life, and subscribe to learn how to rebuild your ability to wait. Why the emptiness you feel is actually a sign of awakening. That emptiness you feel isn't a problem to be fixed. It's a signal that something in you is awakening to reality. Your soul is rejecting the cheap substitutes you've been offering it and asking for something real. For years, you've fed your mind with empty stimuli, superficial relationships, and achievements that mean nothing to who you really are. And now, your internal system is in revolt. The emptiness isn't depression, it's discernment. It's your deepest consciousness saying, "This isn't enough." Society taught you to fear emptiness, to see it as a sign that something's wrong. But what if it's right? What if it's exactly where you need to be to finally stop running from yourself? When you stop filling every second with distraction, when you stop masking every discomfort with instant pleasure, you create space. And in that space, for the first time in a long time, you can truly hear yourself. Dr. Viktor Frankl, Holocaust survivor and psychologist, discovered that existential emptiness isn't a disease, it's an opportunity. It's the moment when you can consciously choose what really matters to you, instead of simply following what society says should matter. Emptiness forces you to ask real questions. What do you really want from life? Who are you when nobody's watching? What makes you feel truly alive? These questions are uncomfortable, but they're the only ones that lead to genuine answers. You've spent so much time avoiding these moments that you forgot what it's like to be present with yourself. What it's like to feel your own emotions without needing to alter them immediately. What it's like to have a thought without needing to share it. What it's like to exist without needing to prove your existence through external achievements. When you stop running from emptiness and learn to inhabit it, something extraordinary happens. You discover that inside what seemed like nothing, there's everything. All the creativity, all the intuition, all the wisdom you need is already there, waiting for you to stop making noise so you can hear it. Emptiness is an absence of something. It's pure presence. It's the space where real possibilities can emerge. It's where you stop living the life others designed for you and start living your own life. This doesn't mean you'll feel constantly happy or that all your problems will disappear. It means you'll develop a different relationship with life. A relationship based on authenticity instead of performance, on depth instead of intensity, on being instead of having. You'll discover that you don't need as much as you thought to feel complete. That genuine relationships are more satisfying than dozens of superficial connections. That meaningful work is more rewarding than empty success. That simple moments can be richer than elaborate experiences. Practical action in the coming days. When you feel emptiness or boredom, don't immediately run to distraction. Stay with this sensation for a few minutes. Breathe deeply and ask, what is this feeling trying to tell me? Listen without judgment. If you're tired of running from yourself, leave an awakening in the comments. Hit like if you're ready to transform emptiness into fullness. Subscribe to continue this journey of real self-knowledge, and share with someone who also needs to stop running from their own life.